I'll record. All right. So basically, I'm just going to give you guys a, um, a tutorial on two different things. First, we're going to do a monochromatic design. There's already an example of this on the website, and a lot of times you guys can use this on a lot of different projects. So I think it's just a good thing to know how to do. It's kind of basic, but kind of complicated at the same time. And then we're going to go through creating a template for sizing all of your images exactly the same. Um, so let me screen share and let's get started. Yeah, I think this is the one. All right. Everyone able to see me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right, excellent. So obviously you all have Pixlr bookmarked and ready to go. And this is going to allow us to edit any photos. So it's just like working with Photoshop, but online. All of the tools are pretty much crazy, crazy similar. Really crazy similar. So if I take a look, let's see if this thing, did it go away? It goes away when you zoom in. So have any of you used this yet?
I did use it to resize some of the images, like I could put them in the editor.
Okay, perfect. Hugh and Peter, have you used it yet?
Yeah, I've used it once to resize images.
Yeah, same.
Okay. All right, excellent. So this is just like, pretty much like just like using Photoshop. All the tools are the same. So you know that all the tools on the left are pretty much the exact same tools that are in Adobe Photoshop, but you can use them here. So the first thing we'll do is work with a monochromatic image. And then the second thing we'll do is we'll set up an image template. First, thought it might be a pretty good thing to show you, you know, what monochrome means. Kind of starting off with pretty much almost like you see a black and white image where everything is one color, but different shades of one color. So pretty much when you look at a black and white image, it's really black dots on white. So it's really a black image using one color. So just a bunch of black dots, but the dots are spaced out in a way where it gives the illusion of seeing gray. And if they're spaced out enough in certain areas, we don't necessarily see the black dots, but we can see the white background that it's on. So photographic image usually made up of one color or one tone. And what we're most used to seeing are monochrome images that are black and white. But we can do them in single colors as well. Instead of just black dots, the image can be all pink, all gray, all blue, all purple, whatever. So can you guys see when I zoom in like this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if on your end, if you're seeing my screen zoom in or not. All right, so we're gonna just do that for this site here. Oh yeah, we're gonna do one more thing. We're gonna make one of these palm trees kind of disappear. So I forgot, that's 3 things we're gonna do. Again, just kind of like this learning technique for everyone. So if we take a look here, when I zoom in, you guys can see me zoom in?
Yep.
All right. So you can actually see, as far as our first task goes, making the image monochromatic, it's already done right here. So in the logo, you can see that the word good is using a solid monochromatic color of aqua on the palm trees. And we're gonna show you how to do the same thing. And the vibes at the bottom is doing the same thing, except they, whoever did this actually took the palm trees and made them a negative. They inverted the image and then applied a monochrome color. So it's like all shades of orange and then all shades of aqua. Let me see if I can show you guys something. Let's see. let's see. Let's try this. You guys are familiar with this one, so let's go here. You're already familiar with W3 schools, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Hugh and Peter, since I can't see you, I can't see if you're shaking your head. I don't know if you can hear me or not. So you guys may have to.
I'm not that familiar.
Okay, you're not familiar with it.
No.
Okay. It's because you guys are jumping straight into WordPress. So this is a great website to bookmark because it teaches you everything about coding in like a bunch of different languages. The languages are on the far left here. So there's a bunch of different languages that you could actually learn: HTML and CSS, JavaScript, server-side languages, Python, and a bunch of stuff. There's somebody like Mark Zuckerberg or somebody, he taught himself C++, and after learning that, teaching himself, then he made Facebook, and now he's a billionaire. So there's a lot of different languages and stuff here. But also at the bottom of the page is a place where you can get a basic understanding of colors. So I'm going to click on this color picker. And the reason I want to show you this color picker because I want to show you how kind of like monochrome works. This is actually all shades of red going all the way from white to black. So you can see that red is right in the middle at 50%. This is like our base color. And if we start to lighten it by 5% all the way, we lighten that red all the way up to white, where you can't even see it anymore, where it's 100% brightness. And then we darken it all the way to black, which is 0, meaning no shades of red. So when we work with a monochrome, it's kind of like picking one color, but it's gonna color the image with all different shades of that one color. So the brightest color of red, all the way to you can't see it anymore, white, and the darkest shades of red until it's completely black. So this is like gives you an example of seeing like a monochrome color and kind of like what that looks like. And we can pick like a bunch of different colors here. And then now we can see all shades of green. And then this is also a place you can get a bunch of hex colors from. I think you guys covered hex colors already, right?
Part of it more like before knowledge.
Say it again.
I know hex colors outside of this, not because of this.
Okay, so you have some familiarity. So, I think you guys at the bottom of your screen, you should see a button called Reactions. And in that reactions, you guys can give me like thumbs up or yeah. So everybody give me like a thumbs up or if not, then you know, all right, cool. So because I'll give a pause so I can hear you, but I just want to make sure. All right, so this is one place where you can come to if the client gives you a color and we need to do our best to match that color, or since you guys are working on websites already, when you go to edit some of your colors in Elementor, there may already be a hex color there. So I know like on this nutrition website, we kind of have some different colors. We have aquas and greens, and we can actually get them from here or copy and paste them from here or try to match the client's colors from here. Just by clicking on this color wheel to get as close to the color we want, like purple. And then we can scroll down and pick the appropriate shade just by clicking on it. So this is one tool you can use on w3schools.com. I'll have you guys bookmark that. Then I'll also pull up another one while you're bookmarking that or writing it down. So I'm going to go to Google. Google has a way to help us out as well that sometimes can be a lot faster. All you have to type is color picker into Google. If you type color picker into Google, it gives you this tool. So you can simply click anywhere here to get the shade of this color, all the way from the main color all the way over to white, darker, all the way to black. And you can slide this slider to get a different color hue. So you can kind of narrow down and try to match the client's colors as much as possible. And when you do, you'll see your hex color is right here in the center. So you can actually copy that and paste it into Elementor when you're working with colors. And then you'll see there's a bunch of different color options here, RGB, CMYK, and so on and so on. We probably won't need to mess with these, but when you're in Elementor, this is probably going to be the best help you can get. So all you have to do is type color picker into Google, and Google provides this tool for us. A lot of other tools in here too. So just a lot of cool stuff just built into Google. It's kind of crazy. In case if you guys didn't know that was there. Any questions so far?
No.
All right. So then let me jump right into it. So now you have two resources, Google, W3 Schools, just by going to the home page and scrolling down to the bottom. And let me show you one other thing. So there's a lot of other stuff in here. So now that I'm on the page with colors, there's a bunch of other stuff in here too. A bunch of different ways to get colors. One of them that I always like to show people are brands. So if you pick on color brands, and you can go through any one of these, but color brands is kind of cool because it shows you like, what are the hex colors for Google? These are the exact hex colors that Google uses in their brand. What are the hex colors for Twitter? That type of thing. So you actually see a few hex colors for certain companies or brands. So I thought that was just a kind of like a cool thing to show you guys. So a lot of different stuff in the left menu once you actually go to the color page. All right, so we're basically going to do our own version of this. So that way it's going to be a lot easier to read the text and type. It's going to be a lot easier to read the white text and type in the footer because it's a lot going on here and it's pretty busy. So by making it one solid color, it's a lot easier to read. Let's jump over here into editor. I'm going to go to advanced, open an image. I'll pick this. I'm also going to do a little something here too. I downloaded some of these images. Show you a little trick here. And open this image. All right. So now that we have this image open, it's really, really busy. There's a lot going on here. And I think one thing that could make it a little bit easier is to maybe do our best to try to get rid of this palm tree in the middle. I could actually take it and move it so that it lines up with these palm trees here. And I could technically do the same thing, move this palm tree down, but no, I won't need to do that. But I just want to show you a little trick on how to get rid of this thing. So there's a tool here on the left called the clone tool. And the clone tool allows us to take a part of one image and clone it on a different part of the image. So on my keyboard, let's just say I'll pick this palm tree right here. And I'll hold down the shift key and my cursor will change to like this brush. And I just do a single click. Now I've selected my source. Now when I come over here, it's going to clone. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can zoom in. I can't. I need to unlock this layer first, so I apologize. So if you look on the left, on the right side, you'll see that I have layers and there's a little lock icon. I have to unlock it. So I have to double click it to unlock it, or else I can't do any edits. All right, now I'll hold down the shift key to select this area. And if I, let me do it again, shift and click. And if I click anywhere else and drag, you'll see that it's duplicating that whole scene on the other side. So I'm getting that palm tree again right here. So I'm duplicating. We're going to use this same technique to remove the palm tree. So I'm going to hit Control Z to undo. So in order to make this palm tree disappear, I'm going to use the same technique, but instead of duplicating, I want to duplicate what's behind the palm tree, which is the sky. The first thing I want to do is go to the top and just double check my brushes here. So there's a tool at the top called brush. And I can adjust the size of my brush here. I think around 1 to 200 is probably going to work. And if I want to get in between like the palm leaves and get real detailed if I wanted to, I could do that as well just by making the brush smaller. And a technique that'll make this a really, really beneficial edit is to take the brush and soften it. I don't want a hard edged brush like this, where the edges of this circle you see are real crisp and sharp. I want to bring this thing maybe around 20 or 30% and soften the edge of my brush. That's pretty much it. I'll click on brush to close it. Oh, that's too big. Can you guys see my brush size?
Yeah.
That's way too massive. So I'm going to bring it down to 50. Click on brush. And that's still too big, but I'm going to work with it just for the sake of this lesson. I probably need to break it down even smaller. So I'm going to take this part of the sky, hold down the shift key, and do a single click. And now it's going to duplicate this part of the sky over here, and it's going to get rid of that palm tree. And you can see I started to get some of this palm right here. So I'll click over here somewhere, hold down the shift key, let's do a single click, and then start painting over here. Oops. Sorry. And I'll do the same thing all the way down to the bottom. I'll click somewhere kind of close to the object I want to get rid of. Hold down the shift key because I want to clone this part of the image. Click and let go. Then come over here and start brushing away. And I can get rid of this palm tree. Get rid of this one too, why not? So now once I get to the bottom, it starts to get weird because I'm running out of spaces to clone. So I go back up to the top again, hold down the shift key and click. And now it's going to clone from this point on down. So now I have plenty of clonable space because it shows you where it's pulling the clone from. And if I go too far over, I'll start to get this tree. So I have to be careful. Hold down the shift key, click in here, clone it out. And then we know what's going on because we can see it. So there may be some little issues in some of the streaks and clouds that we see, but the average user, when they look at this, they won't be able to tell. And of course, I can soften my brush up even more to make the clone even sharper and better. Matter of fact, I'll even take a part of this sky here. Let me make my brush a little smaller. 17. And I'm going to click somewhere up here, hold down the shift key and click. So I can get rid of the palm tree down in this area. That's pretty good. I'll make my brush a little bigger again. Soften the edges even more. And I'll clone maybe, I don't know, this part up here. Then click. And because my brush is softer, it gets rid of any hard edges I might have had. And I'm just cloning different parts of the clouds from different places until it looks pretty decent to me. And now we'll clone the top. Hold down the shift key and click somewhere over here where the clouds are, or I can click somewhere below. This is kind of one of those things you just have to feel it out. Maybe I'll start up here. Click and start cloning. I made my brush real soft. And no one will ever tell. I'll come over here, hold down the shift. So I can extend these clouds a little bit more. Come down here, click, do some cloning. And go back up to the top and clone from here. Hold down the shift key and just do some cloning. And I can always tweak it a little bit. Oops. Sorry, my mouse is, got this crazy smart mouse. So now once I get real close to this palm tree, I don't want my edges to be so soft because then it'll create like a haze on the palm tree. So I could tighten it up a little bit. Man, sorry guys. Sorry. Oops. And I'll get rid of the bottom part of the palm at the bottom. So now, when the average person looks at this bad boy, they'll never know a palm tree was there. It just is like gone.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I'm just duplicating the content or the areas behind it. And this is what's done a whole lot in Photoshop. You'd be amazed at how sometimes they can put something in a scene that was never there, remove something if they don't need it. This is how it's done. So the clone tool is going to be your magic for doing this. That's what it is. This is also the same tool you would use to say like get rid of acne on somebody, right? So if someone has bumps on their face or acne or even a scar, you can take a good part of their skin and kind of clone it over the bad part and kind of erase it out. And this is how you clean up someone's skin if you notice they have something going on. Someone may have on, let's just say a leather jacket, right? But it's a lot of lint on it. You can take a good part of the leather and clone over the lint parts and get a really, really clean image. Let me see something. So, I think I can show you guys this if I have it right. So you spell pull up. I think this is right. It might be one word. Okay. So this is an example of a really, really, really old website that we did with our old company, which used to be called Pixel Polygon. And this was actually a photo shoot where we actually went to the hardware store and bought a fake wood floor, so it would look like it's in a gym, like, you know, during PE. And we rolled it out, so that's actually not a real wood floor. It's like fake. We rolled it out, and we'll kind of go to the. I think we'll go to the gallery. I think there's a gallery in here. There we go. And this is. I'll show you just a couple things I did here. So let's zoom in here. So if you take a look, if you see this image here where the thing is standing on its legs, this is how it normally stands up. And if you look here, you see this thing actually has wheels on the bottom and it's standing up by itself. That's not possible. So you can't really tell because I cloned myself out of here. I'm actually standing right here holding it with one finger. I got like my one finger at the very top holding it so we can balance it for a few seconds before it fell over. And then I cloned myself out of this image. So you couldn't tell. We took these close-up shots here. So we took these close-up shots here. And when I got, you know, you can't tell when you take a picture in camera, but when I got back and opened it up in Photoshop, there was lint and dust all over this thing. So I had to literally use the clone tool to go in here and clean up this wheel so you couldn't, all the black was covered in lint and dust. You just couldn't, it was horrible. So I went in there, cleaned it up and made it look like a brand new product as opposed to a product that's been used a lot as a demo product. And these are models that we used. This is a woman that I know who used to work at our old mailing facility. We had her get her nails done. We took a picture, you know, so we set the scene up, you know what I mean? She knew she was gonna have the photo shoot, get her nails done, because I knew in my mind that we were gonna do these close-up shots. And, you know, it's cool. This is my son. And we went to, back then when Payless was still a store, we went to Payless, bought some new shoes so we can use them for the photo shoot because I wanted shoes that had a clean bottom. And then we took them back right after the photo shoot and said, these don't fit. and returned them after the photo shoot. And this is actually Curlin's neighbor. So there's a little girl who lived next door. We thought she'd be a great model also. So we went next door and got her. So this is actually a company in Clovis. And they actually make these pull-up bars and sell them to schools. And they hired us to do it. And kind of like the last clone feature I did was my son had a bigger afro than this. So I actually cloned down his hair because it was a little sloppy that day. And I'm, you know, kind of narrowed his hair down and made it look nice and clean. So you can use the clone tool to do a lot of different things. And I use it on this project in a few different ways. To trim down his hair by cloning the white background and, you know, putting it in there. And the background itself, the background was a really, really dirty background. It was white, but it wasn't, you could still see it. So I had to clean it up and make it a pure white background. And this is actually a photo studio that's in Clovis, downtown Clovis, actually. So I just wanted to show you a real project where I use the clone tool a lot, because sometimes you just have to. Sometimes I've even used the clone tool to, we have pictures of people and they have really sweaty underarms. And I'll use the clone tool to get rid of the sweat by cloning a different part of their shirt if I could.
That's nice of you.
So, you know, clone tool. All right, so now we have our image completely cloned. It's ready to go. Now we need to make it a solid color to add it to this project. So I would go to adjust. And I think it's, you guys can see me navigating through the menu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, adjust, and I think it's color balance. Let's go in here. Let's go to color balance. Nope, hold on, cancel, adjust. There we go, hue and saturation. Okay, so it's gonna be hue and saturation. And remember, you guys are gonna get this video. So I'm gonna upload this lesson into YouTube and then put the link in Slack. So you guys will have this lesson. All right, so what these things do is, let me start with lightness. I think you guys get what lightness does, right? That's pretty straightforward. We'll keep that right in the middle. We might adjust it a little bit. Saturation. How much color does this thing actually have? We can boost up the color so it's really rich, and we can remove the color so there's none at all, and this thing is black and white. So how vibrant or rich or saturated is this thing with color? So we'll keep it right in the middle for now. And then the last one is hue, meaning what color shade do we want? Right? Blue, green, pink, whatever. In the middle, it's going to be every shade of color because the picture already contains millions of colors. We can see browns, we can see light browns, dark greens, blues, whites. We can see a bunch of different colors. But we want this thing to be one solid color. So we want to click on this colorize option. Turn on colorize. And that instantly puts it into a monochromatic, one color image. And then from here, we can really just kind of adjust the hue to get the shade we want. Right, I know we want to be somewhere in the blue area. Maybe not that dark, but somewhere in the blues. We can adjust the saturation. So it's much more saturated blue, all the way down to black and white. And of course the lightness. So we can adjust the lightness a little bit. So some of these you just kind of have to, there's no rules on this part right here when it comes to this kind of creativity. You're just kind of adjusting it the best way you can to kind of get a solid color. And this is exactly what the people did with this logo here. And there's other stuff we can do as well. We can make a lot of other adjustments. We can make a lot of other adjustments using some of the other tools. Client didn't pay, you know, this is a free project. We're going to do the best we can. But I think this will actually get by because this is not a major image. It's just to kind of give us an image that we're going to use in the footer, right? But it's not a major image on the site. It's really a background image. We really want people to read the text that's in the footer, more importantly, to be able to see the text and be able to see the social media icons and all that stuff in the footer. That's our goal. So we really want this image to be subtle. We want it to be as subtle as possible. I mean, you know, we could even brighten it up so it's really, really subtle. We can leave it nice and rich like this. And then there's this button at the bottom. If we click and hold it, we can compare it to the original image. So we can see what that looks like. Like, okay, so we can adjust it. And if we like this, then we would hit apply. And then our image would be completely done. Now, I'm gonna click undo for a second, because now we're technically done. I'm gonna click undo and tell you, before you do anything like this, it's probably a really good idea to right click on this layer and I think we can make a duplicate of it here. So in case you mess up, you can go back to your original image that's on a different layer. So I'm going to click on this duplicate option. And now you can see I have my original background image and now the copy. let me go ahead and make the hue and saturation adjustments on my copy. Let's see, maybe more about, add a little more saturation, click apply. And now you can see if I uncheck this box, I can see the original image underneath it. All right, so now I have both. If I didn't really like it, I'm like, I don't want it to, I may not want to have to start all over again. I can actually go back to this original image, make another copy, and then have different ones to kind of compare. So managing your layers is a powerful thing. So I can also do some other stuff here. I can do, so we did hue and saturation. We can do a bunch of other stuff here. We can mess with the curves. We can mess with levels, color balance. We can do some more fine tuning of the colors here, of the different shades of blue, mid-tones, other tones and highlights. If I wanted the palm trees to be not as intense, I could do some adjustments here. Curves is a good one to mess with. I'm not sure what it's not. The curves aren't adjusting for me. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. Hold on. I was hitting cancel anyway. But if you do make any adjustments, make sure you're adjusting the correct layer. I was on the wrong layer. I was on the color layer underneath. Make sure you're on the layer that you want to edit whenever you do any adjustments or changes. There's levels. So with levels, we can fine tune the brightness and darkness. We can make some more adjustments here. So I can fine tune different shades of red, green, and blue apparently in this program. So I can make some fine, since this is monochromatic, probably only white will work. So we can do other fine tuning with this thing once we have our major image done. And then I'll show you how to save this thing. So go to File, Save. And when I save it, I'm going to save it two ways. One way is I'm going to save it as like maybe a JPEG image with super high resolution. I'm going to kick this resolution all the way up. And then I'm going to download this and I'm going to use the JPEG for my website. So JPG is like kind of like the most common image type that you can use on the web. Anytime you take a picture with your cell phone, it's a JPEG. Unless you're on an iPhone and they adjusted the defaults to HEIF, but that's a whole different story. PNG, we might not use that much. That image type supports transparency. So if I look at this logo here and zoom in, I notice that I can actually see through the letter O, the letter D, and I can see around it. This logo is not inside of like a white box. I can actually see around it and see through it. So this is a transparent logo. So even as I adjust it, I can see the palm trees scaling behind the logo. So the good vibes and nutrition supports transparency. There's not a white box around it. That's what PNG will help you do. WebP does the same thing as PNG. It supports transparency and everything, but you can adjust the quality like a JPEG. A PNG, you can't adjust the quality. It's just locked in. You pretty much won't use WebP. That's kind of new. It's kind of like a new image type that Google has introduced. So we won't use WebP, but we could, and most browsers do understand it. And then let me hit cancel for a second. Now, knowing that I edited this image and added 2 layers here, if I want to come back and edit this again later, and I want to have both of my layers there, I need to save this thing as a PXD file. And it stands for Pixlr Express Document. And in Photoshop, it's called a PSD, Photoshop document. So when you open this thing back up later, all of your layers will be there. So you can go back in and make tweaks and edits. And if you added text, your text will be there as well. But if you save this thing as a JPEG, PNG, or WebP, everything's flattened into a single image, and you can't go back and edit the individual elements anymore. Everything flattens. That's pretty much it. That's how we do a monochromatic type of image, and that's how we use the cloning tool to get rid of something in the image that we don't need. The other two things I'm going to show you are going to be really, really quick. So, does anyone have any questions so far? Okay, we're actually almost done. Does someone have a question? Or someone said no. You guys said no? All right. So the other thing that you guys have happening inside of some of your websites, and we need to be very, very conscious of this, is when I click on, I think it was specials or services. So these images are different sizes. So in order to make all of your images the same size, it's good to create like a template for it. Let me open up this image in a new tab, and I can see what size this image is, or I can actually save this image. Well, I go to I'll just say that this is my template, for example. So let's just say this is my image here. And I want all of my images to match this image here. First, let me go in. I can adjust a couple of different things here. The image's size, or the size of the canvas, the editable area. Let me adjust the size of this image. And let me reduce it down to maybe 900 pixels wide. Hit apply. Now, I want to make sure that all the other images in my gallery or in my page or in my menu are the exact same size as this. We actually use this as a template, especially using our layers here, by just placing another image in here. Or, let's see, let me download this bad boy. Let's download this. So I'll just save it right in my pictures, for example, just for the sake of this lesson. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'll open that image. Open image. It's in pictures, and I'll open this image, right? So now across the top, I have two tabs across the top. And I know that this one is my template. I can come over here. I can select all by doing Control A, or select all. So on my keyboard, I just hit Control A, and you can see the marching ants going around the image, right? So that's one way I can do this. And then once I have it selected, I just hit copy, Control C. And you can see when I hit copy, it says copy right in the center. Everybody see that?
Yeah.
Cool, then I just go to my other image, paste it, Control V. And if I need to, I can just scale this thing down to the right size. And now I know that both of these images will be exactly the same size because I'm using this template to manage image sizes. All right, so now I would turn this layer on, save it, give it a name, man hands. This one's called man hand, I guess. Right, and then adjust the quality all the way up because it's a JPEG, and this would be one of my images. and then I would save that. Then I would hide that layer. So I show the layer underneath and go save that one. And then call this one the trees. And then maximize the quality and save that one as a JPEG. Then I upload those images to WordPress and then put them in my page, and they'll all align perfectly. Now I'm going to give you, now this one's weird, right? So let me open this image in a new window. This one's kind of weird, right? It's odd. So how am I going to get this to work? So let me save this image in my pictures. You're going to have to cheat a little bit. And that leads me into the last tool we're going to cover, which is going to help. Peter, Hugh, which one of you guys are working on Laura's eyes?
I am.
Okay, Hugh. So this tool is going to help you also. You'll see in a second. So I'm actually going to close this image because I don't need it anymore. I'm going to click on the X to close it and open a new image. And that image I'm going to open is the lose weight one. Now I'm going to copy it, I'm going to select it, Control A, Control C to copy. Jump over and paste it. And it pastes right in the middle, and it automatically creates a new layer over here on the right. Normally, I would right click and I would make sure I name that layer appropriately. Weight loss image. That way, and press enter. That way I know what's on each layer. So this one's a little tricky. It's tiny, and that's exactly what I would expect. And I have all this extra white space. And I can do two things. Obviously, I can scale it up. Right? I could scale it up, cool. Once I scale it up, it also loses some quality too. You know what I mean? So once I scale it up, now that's not as sharp as it was before. There's two things I can do. That's one, and I'll probably end up doing that. But the first thing I want to do is on a white background. So this image was clearly not a PNG because there's no transparency. It's got a white box around it. I want to go to this tool over here. Where are you? I want to go to this tool called the Picker tool. In Photoshop, it's called an eyedropper. So this allows me to sample any color anywhere on my page. So I want to sample this blue. I click right here. I want to sample this yellow in the ruler or greenish yellow. I'll click here. I want to sample the color from the palm trees. I'll click here. But in my case, I just want to sample the white so it matches. So I'll click that. And in the bottom left corner, I can see where the color is changing here. I'm going to create a new layer by clicking this plus sign. An empty layer. And I'm going to drag it underneath my image. Right here, remember, this is my weight loss image. So basically, I'm going to, on this blank image, I'm going to paint some white underneath. Or the fastest way is to use this paint bucket or fill tool. And I have to do it on a blank layer. So I'm going to click that tool and just do a single click. And it dumps white onto that layer, that blank layer. Now I guess I can go back to this image. Oops. I can go back to this image and go to Edit, Transform. Uh-oh, something's wrong here. Hold on, what is all this? There we go. So go to Edit and Transform. That's how I can get these transform bars to show up, and then I can transform it. And at least, yeah, it's blurry and everything, but at least I don't have the whites on the sides are good to go. You know what I mean? And now this thing completely fills my template, so I feel safe saving this thing, giving it super high quality, you know, whatever you want to name it. And I know that all three of my images now will be the exact same size. That'll keep my, that's why our buttons here are staggered, right? I got a button down here, a button up here, and a button down here. It's all staggered. They aren't the same size. So that's the way to get around making this the size that it needs to be. And this color picker tool was a good tool to use to help me make sure I matched whatever color was in the background to match it up. Now, Sarah, do you have any questions?
Oh, that was very useful.
Okay, cool. So this will help you, and I'll put this video inside of Slack once I'm done dumping it up to YouTube. I'll put the link in Slack for all of you. So now that we're on the color picker tool, this is one thing that can help you out, Hugh, and all of you guys. I'm going to open up. Let's see, documents, Patino 2020-2019 project, and client sites. So I'm going to open up Laura's image here. And I wanted you to see this because you can, this I think will give you a good feel for how simple and clean she wants her page. Just like her old business card. So I'm going to open this. And on your website, you have the same thing as well, where we have different headings. We want to match the colors across the entire site. So we want to get in and adjust the hex colors for these so they're the same. Either choose this one or choose this one. It may be easier just to choose this one because your buttons are already the same color and you have less to change. So whatever color this one is, just making sure it matches these. And on Laura's website, the same thing. Whenever you have your headings, it's usually a good idea to give them a color that stands out. But in order to know what Laura's colors are, we can use this tool to find it. So I technically could zoom in. I could zoom in. That would give me a little bit more accuracy. And I can just kind of pick and do a single click to sample her color. And at the very top, you can see all the different shades of her colors. Here's some complementary colors. So these are other colors you could use to kind of say, hey, this will complement and go well with your site. But I want to go down here in the bottom left and click on this circle and copy the hex color here into the website. That way I'm pulling exact colors from different parts of whatever I can find from her and put that in the website. So I'm gonna take this Laura's eye along with the face and lay it out, and I'm gonna put the logo in Slack. I'm just gonna remove all the other stuff we don't need and put that in Slack.
Okay.
So if you take a look here, you can see this is her color. So let me copy this now and just put it in Slack for you. Let's see, I think I'm in the right, yep. Here is Laura's color blue. And I'll paste it in there, make sure I pasted the correct one, and send it. So now you have the hex color in Slack, and you can see that Slack it gave us a sample of what the color is going to look like. It has a little blue square next to it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So you could do that. anytime the client gives you anything, any of your clients, we can actually, sample colors from anywhere. This red couch, and I'll click down here in the bottom left, and I get the exact hex colors for that color red, and so on and so on. But I'm hoping we can match this blue because it's the same blue she's using in her email and her website, and match that out. I'm gonna take her face. I'm gonna take her face and then put it next to her name and then send that to you as a logo.
All right.
And we'll see what we can do with that. It'll work. I mean, we're just adding it to the website, so we don't need super high resolution to add it to the website. So this will work just fine.
Yeah.
And I'm basically going to do this. Image, canvas size, instead of image size, canvas size. I'm going to start from the right side out, and I'm just going to make the width, I don't know, 1,000. And it's going to start from the left out. From the right out. Preserving the image. In other words, her face is going to stay on the right, and I'm going to add extra canvas on the left. I'll click apply. Now we have all this extra canvas. I'll use the eyedropper tool to sample this white to make sure I have the right shade of white. I'll use the paint bucket tool and I'll just dump it in there. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Let me sample that white again. There we go, paint bucket tool. There we go. Jump over to her logo. Where did I open it? And this won't completely match. I'm just trying to show you what I'm going to do. This time I'm going to use a marquee tool, because I only want to copy this. I don't want to copy the whole thing. I only want to copy that. Control C. The image is locked, but I think it'll still let me copy it. Jump back over. I got so many up here, I don't know where I am anymore. Control V to paste. So you can clearly see that I'm probably gonna start with this and then scale her face down to match this, because this is a perfect size for the website.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of give you an example of what I'm gonna do. I wouldn't take her name and scale it up because I'll lose quality. Instead, I'm gonna take her face and scale it down to preserve quality, just to kind of show you what I'm gonna be doing. And I think this is fine. Maybe I may update her for 2020 and actually position it down here. I don't know. So I'm gonna just do a quick edit on this and send it to you in Slack a little bit later on, because I gotta jump back onto my meeting. I think everybody's in lunch. And I just wanted to show you that. How you can adjust the canvas size, the image size, use the paint bucket tool, the color picker tool, how we manage and work with layers, how we save our file in different formats. I think we covered a lot of stuff today. Does anybody else have any questions? All right, so let me close this, close this, close this, close this. So I've already done the palm image, and I didn't even save it. So, but I want to see how you do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So see if you can, right click, save it, make some adjustments. If you want me to take a look at it, just dump it in Slack, and then I'll take a look at it and see, give you some feedback. But that's pretty much it. We've done a lot of image manipulation today, editing raster-based images inside of Pixlr. And then We also learned how to find colors on different websites. So we learned a lot of stuff in 1 hour.
Yeah.
All right. So Peter, which website are you working on again? You're working on.
I'm doing the voiceover.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're still waiting on a lot of stuff from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just keep doing what you're doing. Let's see. Let me stop my screen share. Does anybody have anything that they want to screen share or anything? We already did one screen share. And Curl and I will have to look into that to see what kind of glitch is happening.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. All right. I do want to show you guys one other thing really quickly. I was talking to Curlin about this. How much longer do we have with you guys?
I think till the 16th.
Okay. So I'm going to screen share one more screen. And I want you guys to sign up for this. I'm not sure if we're going to use it with you yet. I think we should. Can you guys see my screen here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did Curlin talk to you guys about Asana?
No.
No.
Okay. So Asana is a tool that allows us to do project management. It allows us to take tasks and assign tasks to ourselves and to one another. So in other words, like I have all three of you here now, right? And I say, you might have a deadline to get the home page done. You might have a deadline to finish the contact page. And I don't know what your deadlines are. And I don't know what you guys are working on because Curlin didn't have you in here, for example, right? And you guys don't know what each other are working on. And more importantly, we could also use this to invite the client to, so the client can have one place to upload images, and the client can see our progress because we can put our tasks in there and they can see exactly when things are due. How it kind of works here is, I'll pick one that's not critical. Like here's a team I belong to, Quick Labs. Here are a bunch of different projects. I'll pick, there's one in here called EOC class. Maybe I created that just to get you guys ready. Or this might be our old EOC class. Let me click on that. Yeah, that's our old EOC class. That's our old class, right? So then I can go in here and create a task at the top. And I can give it a task name like finish contact page. Then I can assign that task to someone. And then I can give it a due date and due time. So that way we know, you know when you're supposed to have stuff done. It helps you keep accountable. And then we can just log into Asana and just say, oh, okay, all right, now I can see your progress without tripping. You know what I mean? I can see exactly where it is. So let's just say this project is due tomorrow. And I can actually add a due time. So it's going to be due tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. And you can see that it'll easily add tasks in a really, really clear way. And if I click on the task, it pulls up this pop-up window where we could actually leave notes and chats like, hey, are you done? And I can actually leave a comment on that task. And you guys would actually get email notifications too. So what I would like you guys to do is sign up for Asana and just sign up using your Gmail. And then we'll come back to this later. But I think this is a great tool for you guys to use. I mean, even in college, when you have an assignment due or something like that, or you guys in college decide to work in a team with someone else, get your team to jump into Asana so you guys can see who's doing what parts and when they're due, that kind of thing. And you can manage yourselves as well. So I'm not sure if Curlin's going to have you use this or not, but I really think that you should. What Curlin was talking about earlier when he was saying Curlin mentioned something earlier. I forgot what he said before he jumped off the call. But the students in Patino, they were working with the clients in Asana. This is how the clients sent them images and graphics and photos and stuff like that. And this is how they could also give the client a task. Okay, client, I need those images by next Friday. I need all the about us content by next Thursday, right? And you can give the client a task as well. So I want you guys to just mess around with this. It is free. It's a very, very powerful tool to have for free, but I do want you guys to sign up for Asana. It's just a wonderful tool. Slack is great for just like these real quick things that we do, but for managing tasks, it's in Slack. We can actually do it in Slack, I think, but it's just different. It's just more robust. It's a lot richer. It allows you to do a lot of stuff because it's for project management. If you guys don't have any questions other than that, I'm done with you guys.
It's a pretty good lesson.
Cool, guy. I hope this is helpful. Thank you very much, Tabari. I'm going to upload the video into Slack once it's done processing and all that. All right. So because you guys aren't using Asana, I don't know any deadlines you're giving yourself. And I don't know what you're working on. So what specifically are you guys working on today? I'll start with Peter. What is your task for today?
I think probably like I finished my background color and like font, and I got most of the template down.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for the information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, from the client. You guys don't have access to the client. Curlin's doing that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Did you let Curlin know that's what his task is?
He said he's working on it.
Okay, cool. All right. So normally you would put that in and you'd give him a task in Asana, right? And you give him a due date, and then Curlin's got to get it done. You know, me too. You're like, you said you were going to teach us on Tuesday or Thursday. Then I know I need to get on there and get it done. Or, hey, we don't have the YouTube lesson yet. And then give me a task to upload it, right? You guys could do that for me as well. Okay, so that's cool. I'll take a look at your website because Curlin gave me the links to all your projects. Hugh.
Yes.
Your tasks.
Probably gonna have to change the colors that you sent me for the font. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just to mess with that stuff today. Perfect. Sarah.
I'm gonna color coordinate the pages, make them all have the same color, and then try to work on the footer.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. That should work. Tabari.
Well,
I don't know
have
what
a lot
Curlin
of
has you.
things.
What does he have you working on? What is your part in the team actually?
Oh, well, he just has me answer questions and like attend the meetings.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
might have you doing some client communication stuff too.
Yeah.
You know, like reaching out to the client if Curlin's not getting through or he's busy working on something or whatever. Because right now, today and tomorrow, we're both in a meeting until 4. We're in a Zoom meeting until 4 o'clock. So we stepped out so we could, make sure we showed you guys this. Then we're back in our Zoom meeting until 4 o'clock. So,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? So there's going to be something. So, all right, guys, if you don't have any questions, I'm going to let you go. I think they're on lunch right now, but I'm still going to check.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
All right. If you need anything, hit me up in Slack, guys.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Take
All
care.
right. All right. Later, everybody.
Bye.